Welcome to Real Judaism with Rabbi Klapper. Unfiltered wisdom for Jewish life.
The last of the 5 things that it says that HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants is Shmiras Kol HaMitzvos K'mash Mo'oi, Dahainu Shmiras Kol HaMitzvos Kulam B'chol Dikdukeim V'Taneim. That Hashem wants us to keep the mitzvahs. So the first one is Yira, we should fear Hashem. The second one is working on our mitzvos, that we should act like Hashem acts. The third one is we should love Hashem. The fourth is that our heart should be totally dedicated to Hashem, meaning we should do things with Hashem Shemayim. And the fifth one is to actually keep the mitzvahs. So if you look at this list of 5 things, the last one on the list is actually the Taryag mitzvahs that HaKadosh Baruch Hu commands us to keep. Now, that's not to say that Yira and Abba are not mitzvahs also. And Shleimus Alev, the kavanah that a person has, is the quality of any mitzvah that anybody does. Obviously that's not just what we do, but how we do it, and the quality of the mitzvah. That's a very, very big part of how we can evaluate our own avodas Hashem. But the last one over here is kind of like almost like it's an afterthought. By the way, Hashem wants you to keep the mitzvahs too, and I think we can learn an important idea from here, even though it seems to be very pashut. All of these things, the first 4 things that we mentioned over here, are what you could say is I'm a Jew at heart, right? Cardiac Jew, right? Meaning I have the right intentions. My heart is with Hashem. But Hashem doesn't only want your heart. He wants your arms. He wants your legs. He wants your body. He wants your head. He wants all of you. He wants you to keep the mitzvahs. He wants you to do the physical acts that are the mitzvahs and keep away from the physical acts that are averos. He doesn't just want your head and your heart. He wants your whole body. So yes, you might love Hashem, but that doesn't give you a heter to cut your payas too short, or to shave with a razor, or to not take a lulav, or to not say Kriya Shema, or to not put on tefillin, or sit on the sukkah on the 8th day with kavanah to be Yotzei Sukkah, right? We don't have the right to decide that we're going to, I'm a good Jew. I'm a good Jew. I love Hashem, right? But you have to keep the mitzvahs too. There's a very big problem that many people unfortunately don't know. They don't even know. In Tefillah, our sages of blessed memory, I think this is mentioned, even the Nefesh Chaim brings this, that a person who davens without kavanah, he just says the words, but he doesn't have kavanah, so it's like a goof without a neshama, like a dead body. You're saying the words, you're doing a physical act, but without the heart in it, it's a goof without a neshama. You're missing the essence. It's avodah shebalev. It's avodah shebalev. That's what tefillah is. The Gemara says you have to serve Hashem with your heart, which means you're davening to Him. Remember, you're davening in front of Hashem. Use your heart. But what people don't know is that the people who don't really daven at all, what they do is they read the words. If you just read the words without enunciating them, without the words coming out of your mouth, that you can actually, at least you yourself, can hear the words. You can talk very, 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 very lowly. Nobody else can hear you except yourself. You actually have to say the words. If you don't say the words, it's not a goop without a neshama. It's not tefillah at all. You didn't do anything. Reading is not tefillah. It's unfortunate that there's so many people who don't know that. And they're just reading the words. If you don't say the words, you're not davening. So yes, of course it has to be in your heart. That's avodah shebalev. But it's nothing. It's nothing if you don't do the act Hashem wants us to do. Hashem doesn't want us just to just to love him. He wants us to love him too. He wants us to fear him too. But Hashem gave us mitzvos. And the great majority of these mitzvahs that we have are physical mitzvahs. They're things that we actually have to do, or say, or not do, or not say. Hashem wants our physical acts. We're physical beings. HaKadosh Baruch Hu created us to be physical beings. We can't forget that. The secular philosophy already that stems from the times of the Greeks said there are two worlds. There's the spiritual world and there's the physical world. And God only cares about the spiritual world. God doesn't care about the physical world. That's not God's domain. This is what Avram Avinu already said when he was speaking to Eliezer. And he was saying, Rashi pointed out in Parshas Chayesara, that one time he refers to Hashem as just Elokei Hashamayim. He's the God of the heavens. And another time he refers to Hashem as Elokei Hashamayim, Elokei Haaretz, the God of the heavens and the earth. Rashi comments on that it used to be, Avram says, it used to be before I came, he was only Elokei Hashamayim. He was only in the heavens because people didn't talk about him. People weren't, but I came and I brought him down here to earth. But it's, unfortunately, there are still a lot of people out there who think that God is only in Shemayim. God is in heaven. God is not here with us. God doesn't care about the physical acts that we do. God only cares about spirituality. He doesn't care about physicality. That's just not true. Of course God cares about physicality. He created us as physical beings and he gave us mitzvahs to do. Does he care if I bring a cup of water to my father if he asks for a drink? Yes. Does he care if I help people, if I use my group to help people? Of course he cares. Does Hashem want us to do physical acts in order to serve him? Yes. Does Hashem want us to stay away from physical acts in order to serve him? Yes. It's a big deal. This is a very big deal. We have to realize we have a guf and it's kadosh. The bris that we have with the Kadosh Baruch Hu, the connecting point that we have for a man is his bris milah. Bris milah is so kadosh that it's a mitzvos aseh. It's a positive commandment that has a chiyuv kares on it. And it's dafka on the place that has the most taiva, that a person can have the most connection to physicality. It's specifically that Hashem put it there in order to show you. Hashem says you can be kadosh there too. And I want you to serve me there also. Because what you do in the physical world makes a difference. And I want you to connect to me in all the physical things that you do. It's a big deal. We shouldn't forget. We shouldn't think that only if you're holding in the spiritual realm, that's the only thing God cares about. It's not true. God cares about how I do business. God cares about the loans that I give. He cares about the business that I do. I buy and I sell. How do I treat my business associates? Does God care about? Yes, God cares about all of that. These are all the mitzvahs. That's what Hashem wants from us. When we talk about these 5 things, we need to elaborate them on them a little bit more. Talk about them a little bit more. Matzati da chachmenu zal shekloru achalokim ha'ele beseder v'chiluk acher yoyse pratim musuder lefi ha'darga v'mitzareches behem liknoz ozam alanocho. So says Ramchal, therefore I wanted to be masader these things, to organize, to know the intricate details and the different levels that's needed in order to attain these 5 things. Chazal already set this up for us, and they gave us an order. How do we grow in these 5 areas so we can totally get them? So there's a brisa. It's brought in a number of places in Shas. One of them, the first parak of Avodah Zarah. Now the girsa that Ramchal is using for this sefer is not exactly the same girsa that you'll find in many of these brises. Certainly not the one at the end of Soite is a different girsa over there. But okay, this is the girsa that the Ramchal has, and this is the girsa that the entire sefer is based on. What does the girsa say? Zeh l'shoynu mikan Amar Pinchas ben Yair. Ben Pinchas ben Yair said, Torah mevi l'dei zihirus. First thing you need to know is you need to learn Torah. Person wants to grow in his avodas Hashem, A person wants to improve himself. First thing you need to do is you need to learn Torah. Torah mevila de zehirus. It'll bring you to zehirus. What is zehirus? Being careful. We'll talk about that, Bez Hashem, after we finish Parishon. Zehirus, being careful, mevila de zrizus, brings you to zealousness, brings you to inspiration to do. Zrizus, and that inspiration will mevila de nikias, will bring you cleanliness, that you'll be clean. What does that mean? We'll get to it, Bez Hashem. Nikias mevila de precious, and once you're clean, you can come to a higher level, a level of precious. Precious, Ramchal explains when we'll get there, Bez Hashem, we'll talking about a higher level. You upgraded, you just upgraded when you got past Nikias. You're on a different level. You're no longer a tzaddik, you're now a chassid. Not the same chassid that's the way it's used today, nowadays. A different level means you're lifnim mishuras adin. Precious miveli de tara, and from there we go up to purity. Tara miveli de chasidus, from there we go up to another higher level called chasidus. It's again not the same thing that we call chasidus nowadays in the vernacular. What people use the word chasidus, it's something completely different. Chasidus miveli de anabam. From there you move on to humility. Another miveli de yirachet, and from there you move on to fear of sin. Yirachet miveli de kedusha. From there, you move on to holiness, and from holiness, kedusha miveli de ruach hakodesh miveli de tchias hamesim. From there, a person can reach the levels, high levels, ruach hakodesh, forms of nevuah, to the point where a person can even bring back the dead, tchias hamesim. V'inei al pi ha'braisa azois come to the chaber chibur izel lamed la'atzmi lahaskil la'acherim. Right? In his humility, the Ramchal writes over here that based on this brisa, I wrote this sefer in order to teach myself and to remind others. In his humility, he's saying, everybody knows this already, but I needed to teach myself. Right? There's going to be a lot of things over here that you might say, of course I knew that, But there is going to be what to learn from these things that we didn't know. Maybe because we're not on the same level as the Ramchal, and maybe because there's certain times we hear something, and we know it's true, but somehow it just clicks. You hear it the 10th time, you hear it the 20th time, somehow, boom, then it goes in. Why did that happen? Siyata d'shmaya. But that's what we need. We need to do the acts in order to get to the Siyata d'shmaya. La'askir la'achirim tanaya avoida hashleim l'madrugasayim. So we can get the full avoida. I will try to explain the different categories, the different details, how to acquire it, and the things that are holding you back from getting it, and how to protect yourself from those things that the Eight Hara throws at you, that doesn't allow you to reach there. That I will be able to have the sefer to read, and anybody else who has the sefer will be able to also use it, in order that we should learn how to fear Hashem. When we don't forget our responsibility to Hashem. And that which physicality makes us tend to forget, because Hashem created in the world that people forget things. That's actually a tremendous toiva that Hashem gave to us, that we forget. But we don't want to forget this. Because we don't want to forget it, we have to constantly review it in order so that we will constantly be re-inspired. And we won't forget, and we'll be able to act on it. Hashem yeh b'chisleinu. He ends off with a tzvil over here before we start the actual first parak of the Sefer. Hashem should be with us. V'shmor ragleinu melacha, and we should protect us as we go on our journey. V'tkayem banu bakashas m'shoyer ha'uv elokav, and we should be able to uphold the request of David HaMelech, the great singer of Klal Yisrael, that he sang to Hashem, Horeini Hashem Tarkech, Hashem, please show me your way. So I should go in truth. So I can focus my heart. Amen. We should all be zoiche. Bez Hashem, Not tomorrow, Wednesday, B'ezras Hashem, we will start the main sefer after the Hakdama, Perek Aleph. And the first thing we need to do is to know what is our purpose here on this world. In order to know what your avodas Hashem is, you have to know what your purpose is on this world. So we're going to stop over here. Shkoyach.
Thank you for joining Real Judaism, where we explore Torah's wisdom for real life. Created by J Foundations and produced by Eli Podcast Productions. Find more episodes at realjudaism.org and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.